Hey there folks, Glenn with CampView, and today we're going to be doing a little walk-around analysis of the Watchman Campground at Zion National Park. And I'll tell you the stuff I like and the stuff I don't like. If you know me from the Cactus Atlas, you would know that we do these kind of walk-around things. We've been doing them for years. It's the same idea, just on CampView, and I might be a little bit more critical than I was over on the Cactus Atlas about certain things. So first things first, I've been here, this is going to be my 4th night here, so I'd like to think I know what I'm talking about. I'm in D36 at the Watchman Campground. There are several loops, I think going up to the F loop, A through F. Many sites to unpack here, many more than we're going to be able to analyze, and we have something to help you if you just want to see them all. If you've come here just to like view sites and get some looks at all of them, I might recommend you head over. We're gonna have a campground drive-through video where I kind of just drive through the whole campground and take pictures of all the sites basically. So if that's what you're looking for, keep in mind we have that. This might talk about, you know, certain aspects and things kind of at a higher level, likes, dislikes, things nearby. Now the first thing you might notice is we're in a beautiful canyon here, surrounded by towering cliffs. And the Watchman, the rock formation, is it I'm ignorant, is it that one or is it that one? I need to get educated, but regardless, if you've been to Zion, you know the landscape. We're basically situated inside of a canyon. I'd say near the opening of the canyon. The Narrows, if you know what the Narrows is, that's like, from here, that's like the northern part of the canyon where it really narrows up, where the Virgin River flows through it. The same river that I'm going to take you down to show you some of my secret spots where you can cool off down that way, but we'll get to that in a little bit. The first order of business though, if we're doing this traditional, is to analyze a site and look at the amenities you get, like my site at D36. So let's just start here. I've seen another section, I think near the A loop, where there's a lot more rigs or whatever, but I just wanted to kind of show you a scan that these driveways here are all very generous in terms of their length. I don't think you're getting a Class A maybe in one of these, but you could see what the guy's got a camper, and you could see I could get like 2 or 3 Slims. Name of my truck, by the way, if you don't know me. I named him Slim for various reasons, but he has plenty of room in there. So, and they're all very comparable. I haven't really seen any that aren't like that. Each campground also comes equipped with a metal picnic table. Might be the only time I might be critical about that, because as hot as it is, as hot as the sun is, if you touch that, you're singeing yourself. So a wooden table may have been a better choice, but that's getting nitpicky probably now. You're also gonna have your standard fire ring here. They don't have stand-up grills, just these ground grills. And right now there are fire restrictions, so fires are not allowed. And I don't know why you'd want a fire anyway, to be honest with you people. Being a regular camper, I mean, if you know what I'm doing, I'm camping for weeks and weeks at a time in a tent. I find very little use for a fire out west. In the wintertime, yeah, but people would totally make fires, and it's like freaking like 85 degrees at night, blowing smoke everywhere, just for that, for what? The ambience, I guess, to say you did. So I'm pleased with that. I'm glad they have campground fire restrictions, not only to protect from fire, but you don't need a freaking fire now, come on. It's too hot. And you can see next to the fire ring and the picnic table is where I put my tent. And you can see there's lots of room for even a larger size tent than that. And while there are no tent pads like I would think of them, like sandboxes kind of, all of these sites are very spacious and have probably room for a couple tents, to be honest. It's really my critical thing. Well, the first one really, I don't know if it's fair to even be critical, but you can see there's lots of trees in here. They don't have a lot of leaves on them and stuff, but you are baking in the sun in this little area. I don't think there's anything one can do about it. This is probably just the natural terrain. In fact, these trees probably aren't that natural. I don't know. Who knows if they're cottonwoods or what they are. But man, is it hot. And I'm standing in a little bit of shade I'm getting now, but there's almost no shade during the day. And that is rough. But I'm here in the middle of July, so that's on me. And being that we're in a desert environment, to blame the park or the campground for lack of shade here isn't fair, although I will say one thing that could improve it. Like when you have these situations at many state parks and even regional parks, people build little pavilions with shade. That's very common. So this is one of those things that I asked the Park Service, why not? Why don't you guys seem, I'm guessing you guys make a heck of a lot more money than these smaller parks, yet you skimp on things like that when they could really be helpful. So if anybody out there from the National Park Service is listening, like, what's up with that? Now, we're gonna get the negative out of the way right now, and the rest is gonna be fun and positive, but my real criticality here is my usual one that I have with every national park. As you put some of your dang sites ridiculously close together, it goes against just basic human psychology. You're asking for problems, and you created a problem for me. Like with the situation, my first night here. I actually released a complaint video about it, and I took it down for various reasons. I'm gonna have a mulligan and do a redo. But basically, yeah, I had a very rude couple younger girls here playing music starting at midnight, told them to shut the music off, and then they just talked until like 3, 4 in the morning, and I didn't sleep a wink that night at all. And if those people were okay and normal, like the people that were here the night after them and the night after that, there's zero problem. Put a bad person in there and they ruin multiple people's time and nights, yet they get away with it and the rest of us suffer. I'm not okay with that anymore, so comment down below if that pisses you off. Now back to the more objective. Yes, you got to keep an eye out here because some sites are way too close together, but I would say most of them, and you can see here, I mean, if I just scan around, there's lots of stuff. You don't have a lot of trees to break up sight lines and stuff, but for the most part, it's tolerable. It's not horrible if you get a good group. But like I said, it just takes one bad apple to ruin everything. All right, I said my piece, and now let's move on and we'll take a look at some stuff. We'll kind of walk around maybe this loop, and I'll just kind of commentate. There's like this trail right here too. I don't even know where it goes. This paved trail cuts right through the center. So let's just take a peek, and soon I need to go down by the river because I'm gonna die. It's hot. Like, unlike the Cactus Atlas videos where I really used to go site to site whenever they're vacant, and I would talk about sites individually, I'm kind of opting now for that part. What I'm doing now is just to be kind of the overview. So you could just, I'm just gonna show you the generals here. Like this site here. I don't see the site post number in the Ds. Like, these are okay. We all want more privacy than that, but I mean, we can deal with that. Now we are kind of in a flat here, like a flat region, so I'm gonna just kind of call it. I have not seen any sites that have like a really bad unlevel issue. I'm sure if I took my level out and went site by site, like there's one, I bet that's not perfectly level, but it's pretty dang close. So I don't think you're gonna have many complaints here about unlevel ground, but I also just kind of attribute it to that we're on the canyon floor, so they didn't have to contend with that challenge here. Here's another couple sites that are way too close for comfort. Oh, and as I call them out, we get to see a very common sight here that I'm gonna point out, which are these deer. Are these mule? They look like kind of like mule deer. They're a larger sort. They're everywhere. They hang out in the shade. They literally come into your campsite and just plop down and sit down next to you. They don't run away. Like, that is not normal deer behavior in my experience. Sometimes you can get close, but I'm not gonna go any closer than that. I honestly am very confident I could get hands on one of those and touch it, even if it starts to back off and run away. But we're not gonna do what you're not supposed to do. That's a no-no. In fact, to be honest with you, I think by normal standards, I'm way too close. That, if you go to other parks, they want you to keep further than I am, but these things really don't care. I enjoy it, I really like it, but it's just weird because they have zero fear. I wanted to show you like an accessible site, one of the handicapped accessible sites, and call out the number. This is C1, or I'm sorry, C16, my bad. And you can see, I mean, it's not paved up where the table is like they do sometimes. You could probably fit 2 things in this driveway, but it is a paved shot all the way to the restroom. So that would be nice and convenient. So one of the accessible sites. And then we'll just randomly look at other sites, C17. So I somehow ended up on the C loop. I'm on the D loop and the road's right over there. So when we went over there, we switched loops, I guess, but that's okay. You see they do have a lot of dumpsters spread out generously, so you don't have to pack out your own trash, nothing like that. And if you keep looking, I think you'll note, still very flat sites, nothing on level. Nothing horrible. Those are kind of close together, those C-18 and the people back there. But overall, I would say it's really hard to say one's any worse than the other. And any situation in this place is prone to a bad night. Because, you know, I just happen to have one of the bad nights. Oh, look who I found back here. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm in one of the campsites. I had one of these guys in my place yesterday, and I was kind of worried because they kind of lay there and they pant like that, but they all do that. So I don't think they're sick or anything. It's just so hot, isn't it, guys? You guys must be dying out here, because that's all I can barely make it either. You see, number 25. Poor guys. I wish I could bring you in my truck and turn the AC on for you for a little bit, but I don't think you would trust me enough to do that. If there's any advice I can give you is when you watch the campground drive-through, try to just look for sites with trees with leaves in them and shade. That would be my best advice for choosing a site here. Don't worry too much about the privacy. It's a negligible thing, and it's probably just more of the luck of the draw, unfortunately. And if someone does bother you, go give a hard time to the rangers and campground hosts. I should have given them a harder time than I did. I tried to take care of it myself and was too nice of a guy. Here's the restroom near where I'm at, and I've been here for 4 nights, so I've made plenty of trip and I have 0 complaints here. Like I said, exquisitely clean the entire time. So congrats, campers. I attribute a lot of that to you guys, as well as I think the people right there, the 2 hosts or whoever's working. I saw somebody here doing their thing, and awesome work. There's still a lot of people coming in and out of there. So I want to just give you a quick look. I mean, there's nothing really to say. It's a clean restroom, running water, of course, sinks, toilets, flushing toilets, and the men's, they have a urinal and 2 like stalls, so pretty standard stuff. And they also have unisex bathrooms where it's like 1 toilet and you get a lot of privacy. There's like a changing table in there and all that. So that's why I like Zion, is they have those at every restroom. It's like you get, there's another one over here where kind of in the middle of a parking lot, maybe nobody's in it. Oh, and when you check in, there is this registration booth that is open during normal hours. So there's a ranger in there, but when I've come in here, there's been nobody in there, and you just drive in, set up, and this is my 4th night here, and I finally registered. So, because they were open when I drove by, but they don't really care. I think they already know you're here probably. I'd say this is pretty par for the course. Sometimes I don't even show this anymore just because I assume you could see, but it's a dump station for those of you with RVs, so I don't know if that's open to use for non-guests. I didn't see any policies, but dump station. And now we're getting down to the A-loop, which is the one where I saw bigger rigs. So I'm thinking this must be more suitable for larger vehicles. And we'll turn around and look back to where I just came from, back on that D-loop, and you just see the backdrop that this campground is in. And I would say that's one of the best features of staying here is you got the views like right there, right in your face the whole time, and it's amazing. Such a beautiful landscape, this place. And on the other side also, because you're in a canyon. One kind of sad thing that I'm noticing in this parking lot is there's lots of dead squirrels splattered all over the place. Lots of squirrels in this park, lots of fat squirrels that are clearly being fed by people. Don't do that. Not supposed to, it's not good for them. But they just kind of casually run on the roads here, and you can just see people run right over them. Drive slow, please. Because I see people in this parking lot hauling butt, because this is the public parking lot. Like if you're coming here and you come through the gate, you're not going to be able to drive your car back to the places you want to go. You have to take a shuttle. Not an option. So this is where everybody parks. So by 7, 8 o'clock, this thing's getting full, and people are circling around looking for parking spots. So that, as you just saw me walk the whole way from the campground, a couple minutes, and I got parking right there. So I went to the Narrows the other morning, for example. I got up at the shuttle start at 6. I forgot exactly what time I started. It was the 2nd shuttle of the day, I think, that left. So not 6, but shortly after. And there was no line. When I came back, holy moly, it's like an amusement park line. So staying in the campground, Well, I guess that doesn't help you with getting in line, but you don't have to waste time finding a parking spot. So that's a huge benefit of staying in the park. And another huge benefit that I find is my little secret spot down here by the Virgin River. And there's almost never anybody down here. Every once in a while there is people swimming. You could swim in here. I might actually later, as hot as it is. But if you've watched our Cactus Atlas content, you've seen, there you go, some people, like a lady and her little kid swimming in the water there. But you see my other videos, I did a hike called the Narrows, and you actually get to walk up the stream, very similar in depth and clarity and the rocks in it, just like that. But the only difference is you're in a really deep, narrow canyon with, you know, walls 1,000 feet high on either side of you. And sometimes the walls are, there is no like even dry land, and the walls go all the way from one side to the other, so you have to walk in the water. But in this heat, who wouldn't want to? So if you're at the campground, I don't know, I'm not saying this is a secret, because you could see over here, that walking bridge, that's like a main entrance into Zion, like a pedestrian footbridge. I think there's some public parking out there. People will come in here and pay entry. I imagine they get a cheaper rate because they're a pedestrian and not a vehicle. So maybe that's an incentive to think about it, but if you've come in that way, I'm right downstream of you here. But yet, very few seem to come down here when you could have your own private riverside beach. And not only that, it's shade, sweet, sweet shade down here. So much cooler too, because you have the cooling effect of the water. I would say if there's any tip I can give you about staying here, right here is it. And you just get those, you even get the views of those rock structures way up there too. It's just so beautiful, so calm and serene. And here's a good view of like midday, probably approaching 2 p.m. This crazy parking lot with no vacancy. Beating the crowds here is an important strategy if you want to do things like the Narrows early and not see like how it gets, because it gets pretty, turns into a party atmosphere sometimes over there. Down at the beginning of it anyway. So staying at the campground, roll out of your tent 6 a.m. and then you go over to the Shuttle, which is over this way. And we're gonna walk right by the main gate here. We've crossed over here in other videos. You can see it says Zion National Park. And that says Zion National Park too. The landscape, that is. Now you can't, it's not within viewing distance, but not far away. Actually, you can see one of the restrooms that I pointed out are the campgrounds. So maybe like a 3-minute walk. And this area is the visitor center. And where the shuttles are, the Zion Canyon line. Anyway, like by the campground is this visitor center, and you can get wilderness permits and just info in there. And then there's like a bookstore. I'd say it's more of a gift shop. T-shirts, your standard like gift shop fare. And the thing I really want to show you is the Shuttle. All right, I actually have an interesting observation to share with you guys here. Maybe it's a positive. It's about 2 in the afternoon. Yesterday, when I came back from the Narrows, it's probably closer to noon. This was full. There was a queue. All of these lines were full to the brim. Whole thing, every single twist and turn. And now there's like nobody. Probably because it's so dang hot that nobody wants to be out here. Another thing I'm thinking about is there are no showers here in town, but you've got the town of Springdale. The main gates to get in Zion, the southern entrance, it's right there. I mean, I could walk to a lot of services right outside of town, like Zion Outfitters. I show that in the video with the Narrows on the Cactus Atlas channel. I rented equipment there. They actually have showers there. They do not have showers in the park, but right over there, there are showers. They're nicer than national park showers by a little bit, more private. It's $1, what was it? It's like one token is 4 minutes, and I forget what one token cost. I think it was more than $1 though. I bought 2, and I was able to get my first shower done yesterday in under time, and I'll probably go do it again today. Let's just hope I don't finish and there's soap in my eyes and the water stops. Because to go buy a token, you have to go back into the main office, so you'd be screwed. So buy more than you need. I'm not gonna be filming that though. So the last thing I'm gonna do on this walking tour is I wanted to explore this A loop because of there's bigger rigs. It's not really, doesn't seem like too much. I shouldn't say that till we get in there. I just saw like some right off the bat, but I see tents too. When I do the drive-through, you'll probably get a better look, but off the bat. I think one difference is these driveways appear to be paved. Unlike mine, they're very level and larger, so you can see a couple examples of rigs people have gotten in here. That's really what I want to kind of show you, is a little bit of the flavor. But you know, you can see once again, I'd say privacy over here is better because you have these like taller bushes that you don't have where I'm at. Maybe it's because you're closer to the river. Now, I don't think anything has river access, by the way, to my knowledge, so don't think that. But you know, you'd probably agree, pretty much par for the course. But the one thing I can say that continues is the levelness of the sites. Like I said, probably not perfect levelness, but very close. You're not gonna feel it kind of close, I would say, if it's not. I haven't really seen any, I don't know, how many feet do you guys think that thing is? That doesn't look like a 40-foot Class A, but close. I'm not really an RV guy, so I don't think these are quite there. I haven't seen, probably go on the site and put some information up on the screen. But, nice sites. I'm just realizing they actually have hookups here. Something I just totally overlooked. I see they're plugged in and they have electric hookups here in A10, so I bet you that's what it is the A loop has the electric hookups. They do not in my loop, so if that's important to you, you know, you need to pay attention here. So I'm guessing the A loop is the truck friendly, the rig friendly loop. I'm trying to discern if every site has a box, and there's one there in A14. I just think they were kind of blocked from my sight. Look how level that is. The river actually is. Like if you're in A14, this might be quite the jam actually. Keep the site in mind. I bet you this might be one of the closest ones to the river. I can hear people in the river. Looky there. You see that? So if you're staying here in the campground, this A loop, I guess that's one of the benefits that comes with it. Like if you're here, you could just go from here and then plop into the water there and cool off instantly. And we'll wind our way back around, and I'm gonna head back to my campsite now. We're not gonna go, it's too hot, guys, for me to go walk more on these loops. That's what the drive-through video is for. But I think I've given you a very good representation of this. And when I do my drive-through, I see a lot more RVs over there, presumably on a different loop. So when I'm driving through, you should be able to see everything with clarity that you need to see. So just keep that in mind. And keep those sites in mind. As we pass on through this area, we'll look at a couple more. I would also remark this A loop a little bit better on shade than where I'm at, but some spots you have some that are very exposed still. So the shade situation is maybe incrementally better here, but not by much. So like many do, especially in tents, if you want shade, you're gonna want to bring your own and make yourself like a little thing over the picnic table, which especially would be handy because those picnic tables are metal and will melt the skin right off of your bones if you touch it. This is one of the unisex restrooms that I told you about. And I think this represents the average level of cleanliness that you're gonna find in the main men's and women's restrooms, probably. At least for the men's, I could say, but have running water, which I'm gonna put that all over me and hot. But yeah, so this is an example. I'm not gonna go into the main one because it's too busy. It's That felt good. Dumping that water in my head felt awesome, but that's not enough. I'm going down by the river. I'm gonna go lay in it, bask in it, whatever you wanna say. This is all I got on this episode. I'm gonna keep these a little bit shorter and tighter, I think, than we did on the Cactus Atlas, and omit like the activities that I usually would do with the campground tour to show you something to do. That's why you're gonna go over to the Cactus Atlas and subscribe, right? So you could see me hike the Narrows here in 2024 and see the whole experience. Or you could see me exploring around Zion and ghost towns and out on the dirt roads near here. So lots to check out on the Cactus Atlas if you're looking for things to do. But anyway, thanks for joining me on this campground review, this campground analysis. Another one down, hope it's helpful. See you on the next one.